Much for everybody that's here. I'm so excited to have you here and talk to you about this. This has been my baby, and really excited to share everything with you. Uh, I'm going to be sending out the replay of this as well. So if you missed it or if you want to go back and watch it, you'll be getting a replay in your email. So, okay, I think we should dive in. Okay, so this is the Mompreneur Revolution. Learn why every mom needs to start a digital business in 2023. This is the official introduction, and I'm so excited to see so many people that are ready to kind of learn something new, do something a little bit different, and jump into 2023 with 2 feet. Okay, so I want to introduce myself. So my name's Heather. If you haven't met me yet, or if this is your first time meeting me, nice to meet you again. Welcome, and thank you for being here. I would love it if everybody who's on the call could just hop in the chat and just say your name, say where you're from. I'm in Buffalo, New York. It's snowing out now. It's freezing outside right now. But I've always been searching for a balance between motherhood and a fulfilling career. And I think that's probably why, for those of you that are on here right now, that's probably what you're looking for as well. And I always knew it was out there. I just didn't know how to achieve that. I started off, my first job out of school was door-to-door sales, but fast forward a little bit, I started working in a corporate environment, and it's just was not what I wanted. So I've switched and I started working in digital marketing. And for the last 6 years, I've been helping digital businesses scale and grow. I've worked with over 40 clients and spent a little over 10 million in paid advertising. So I absolutely love it. I love working with people. I love helping them scale their businesses. But I decided to kind of shift that a little bit and pivot to moms, because I am a mom. And in this picture, this is my 2 sons. Paul is the older one. He's 4. And then the baby is Luke, and he's just over 18 months. So I'm right in the thick of it right now. And, but being a mom, I needed to make my life work with my career. And being a mom is hard. I think that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. So being a mom is hard. And, definitely the Mompreneur Revolution, creating balance between your career and your kids is just what I'm passionate about helping others do. So I'm on a mission to really change the narrative around moms and their careers. I think back when, I was a kid, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and which was amazing, and I loved it. I loved having her around all the time. I don't know if she could say the same, but it was a lot of times it was like you stayed home with your kids, and now, more women are working, but it's almost like you're sacrificing time with your kids to work. Or if you're not working and you're a stay-at-home mom, then you're putting your career off, and it just doesn't have to be like that anymore. Right now we're in an age where we have the opportunity to, do both, and do both really well, and find that balance and that fulfillment between kids and your career. Okay, so one thing that I did that I know has helped other people that I've worked with, other moms that I've worked with, is looking at your life in a bigger way. So this is kind of a big question to say, if you could map out your dream life right now, what would it look like? That's kind of a big question. But if you could just imagine your most ideal day, whatever that means to you, if that means that you're at home with your kids, if that means if you're at the beach, if that means if you're on vacation, whatever it may be, if you can map out your dream life right now, or your ideal day, excuse me, what would that look like? And in order for you to achieve that ideal day, what needs to be in place in your life? Okay, so I'll just give you my example. For me, career was really a sticking point for me. I wanted to have this like rip-roaring career. I wanted to really be, like a powerhouse, but I also was not going to sacrifice time with my kids or my family for that. So I was like, well, I want to be able to uh, work when I want and have all this flexibility. And I want to be able to spend as much time as I want with my kids and take them to the doctors and be their room mom. But then I also want to have this really fulfilling career and make, good amount of money and all of these different things. And it was like, okay, well, what needs to change in my life in order for that to happen? In order for every day to look like my ideal day, which means I'm not waking up to an alarm. I don't like waking up to an alarm. That's part of the reason why I wanted to have my own business. Not the biggest reason, but just that flexibility of having just complete control over your schedule, complete control over your decisions every single day. And in order for me to be able to travel with my family, I had to have flexibility in my schedule. I had to have the money to do it. So I think that these are all like things that were really important for me to have in my life, for me to be able to create that ideal day every day. And so I would encourage you to take a look at, okay, what is it that you want to have on your day-to-day basis in order for you to feel happy and fulfilled? And then what is one thing or two things that you can change that kind of trickle down and make everything better? So once I changed my career, once I had my own business, I was then able to really have that flexibility, and I was able to make the money that I wanted. I was able to travel. I was able to have quality time, all of these things. And so yeah, so I would really encourage you to take a look at that. And it really helps to just give you clarity on what it is that needs to shift in order for you to get to that ideal day every day, right? And obviously, kids are my priority. I would think most moms would probably say that the kids are their priority as well. But it's like, where's the balance? Where do we strike the balance between having kids, being present, loving the time that you are having with your kids, and then also having a really fulfilling career that you absolutely love? Okay. So now I just want to segue over a little bit into what is digital business. I think this is kind of a term that gets thrown around a bit. And digital business, I have this long, lengthy definition that I'm not even going to bother reading. Essentially, it's an umbrella term. So a digital business can be many different types of businesses, but essentially it's any sort of exchange via the internet, right? So whether that's e-commerce or that's, services, whatever that may be, that's anything that happens over the internet is digital business. So for the sake of the Mompreneur Revolution specifically, digital business is utilizing digital platforms for the exchange of knowledge for profit. And so whenever I say digital business or the Mompreneur Revolution, that's what I'm talking about. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a bit. But one of the reasons why this is so powerful is because the e-learning industry is growing rapidly every year. It's projected to double, more than double in 6 years. So from 2020 to 2026, it's projected to double 52%. So I think what this means is that there's an incredible opportunity to actually make real money in this business. And I've seen it personally with my clients that I've worked with. I've seen digital businesses in the way that they're structured, that the profitability of the business is just insane. So when you think about it, there's people, they want to learn something, they go to the internet, right? YouTube has become a huge place to learn things. Google, obviously. So if they want to know a specific piece of information, like how to bake a French baguette, how to create a video in Canva, or whatever it may be, they're not going to sign up for a college course to do that. They'll go on the internet and they'll look it up and they'll figure out how to do it that way. And so the internet is a huge opportunity to take your already existing knowledge and offer it to people who would be interested in purchasing it. And the other thing too is, we've been through a lot these past couple of years, COVID, obviously, and not that people were scared of the internet before COVID, but COVID forced everybody to look at digital and the way that digital can change the power of digital differently, right? Everything had to be digital. School was digital, work was digital, everything became digital. So now there's all these processes and systems in place that allow for the digital exchange of goods or services to happen so easily. Okay. And if anybody has questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. And then at the end of the call, I will go over any questions that you might have. Okay, so I want to talk about what makes this type of business different. When I say this business, I'm talking about the Mompreneur Revolution. I'm talking about e-learning. And so what makes this different is that it's not network marketing or pyramid selling. So if what network marketing essentially is selling to family and friends, if companies like Mary Kay, Unique, things like that, which it's a completely valid business model. It's just that's not what this is. You create the product, you own it, you sell it to people who are interested in it using digital means. This is not affiliate marketing. So I'm not sure if you guys are on TikTok and if you're being hit with the algorithm, but there's a lot of things out there that essentially it's like people say, oh, you can make X amount of money and just 5 hours a week and boom, it's just like this booming business. But affiliate marketing is basically you're selling somebody else's product. So you're doing the work, you're doing the marketing, you're getting everyone in, you're getting everyone interested. And then they're the ones that are supplying the product or the service. And then you basically get a commission for however many units or, you sell. The two things with these that I'm not crazy about is that you don't own the product. You don't own the service. You don't own whatever it is that you're selling. So if somebody is, if let's say the owner of Mary Kay decides that it's not profitable anymore and they're not going to do this, obviously that's not going to happen, but I'm just as an example. Same with affiliate marketing. If the affiliate decides that they're not going to continue to actually offer that product, once it's gone, you spend all that time and energy getting that group of people to come and buy from you, and the product is gone. And so when you don't own the product, when you don't own every piece of the business, it's riskier. So that's what I love about the Mompreneur Revolution and digital business is that you own every single piece of it. It's yours and nobody can take it away from you. So there's no inventory to worry about. So e-commerce, again, is another completely, valid business model that makes people lots of money. But with e-com, you have to worry about inventory. You have to get manufacturers involved and then shipping costs. So shipping costs right now are high, due to inflation and everything else like that. So you don't have to worry about anything when it comes to shipping out physical products. Of course, in the future, you could add on physical products as part of another revenue stream, but getting started, it's I recommend all digital and not having to worry about that sort of overhead inventory piece of it. And then the last part that makes this business so amazing is that there's essentially no overhead. So all you need to get started is your computer, an internet connection, and your brain. And I think that's one of the best things about this here is that it makes it so low risk because the upfront cost is extremely minimal when you think about starting a business. It's not that you have to buy 5 or 6 grand of inventory, put it in your garage, and then hope you can move it and make a profit on it. It's not that you are going to buy $100,000 franchise location and start a business that way, and you have to make that investment back. The upfront cost is so unbelievably minimal that it's basically a very, very low risk. You're sacrificing more of your time than you are of your finances and things like that. So, yeah, that's what makes it different. And so I want to just go a little bit more into this idea that I've created. So really what the Mompreneur Revolution does is empowers moms to go after their wildest dreams and really create a life that you love. It really is the perfect balance between being a mom and having a career, because unlike traditional businesses, this business fits into your life. Whereas with other businesses, typically, let's say if you own a storefront or something like that, you have to go there from 8 to 5 or whatever it may be. This business fits into the nooks and crannies of your life. It doesn't dictate your life, which is so important for moms. We only have a certain, I don't have 10, 12 hours a day to sit at my computer and work. I have to, get my kids up, get them off to school. Then I have to maybe throw a load of laundry in. Then I can do a little bit of work. And then I have to, whatever, the drill when being a mom. But that's another reason why I absolutely love it is because it fits into your life, not the other way around, which is like I said, really critical for moms. And so there's just like a couple things that it's like, what if you could work whenever you wanted based on your schedule, whether it was at 10 p.m. or 4 a.m. or 12 p.m. and you could work for 2-3 hours, and that was like you were able to complete your schedule, like craft your schedule completely. That would be a pretty like good feeling if you're working, if you are working like a 9 to 5 job right now. And you never had to miss another doctor's appointment or soccer game or dance recital or anything. You were able to be there for their kids and be there when you wanted to be there. And you never had to submit another PTO request. That was one thing I always hated about corporate. And one of my personal favorites is that you can be your own boss. That's what I love about it. I've always wanted to be my own boss. And so kind of having that entrepreneurial spirit, I love the fact that I make all the decisions and decide what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. And so the other thing about this too is that this is really, truly fulfilling and meaningful and impactful. So you're actually creating something that's going to have a positive impact on other people, which is really important. And it's unique. So it's a unique business. It can't be duplicated. There's only one you in the world. And I'll touch on that a little bit later, but it's just, honestly, it really is just a perfect opportunity for moms. So I have 4 questions. And if you answer yes to more than 2 of them, then I would say that, this is for you. And, feel free to share with us in the chat if you feel like this is for you. But, do you ever find yourself feeling like you were meant for more? And by that, I mean, whether it is in your career or it is at home, you just feel like there's more that you could be doing. There's more that you want to be doing and you're not doing it. And you just need that little push pull to do that. Do you feel like you have something to offer that can make an impact, but you're not sure what? And do you feel the desire to control your work, your flexibility, and your income so you can spend more time with your kids? And do you think creating more freedom in your life would make you a happier mom? So I think number 4, I would hope would be pretty a yes for everyone, but definitely for me, creating more freedom in my life made me a better mom because I wasn't so stressed out about having to work all day long away from the kids and then coming home to a messy house and having to catch up on everything. I didn't have to worry about any of that. So definitely creating more freedom in my life made me a happier, more fulfilled mom for my kids. So again, we're just going to go, this is my 5-pillar framework about why this is perfect for moms, which we just touched on a little bit, but there are 5 specific reasons that I'm going to go over in a little bit more depth. The flexibility, it's lucrative, it's unique, it's impactful, and it's scalable. So flexible, we talked about this already, but this is me last year with my son. We go to Florida in March, every March because it's freezing in Buffalo. And this was probably on a weekday, I don't know, but we were just at the beach. And I'm not honestly, really, I'm not showing this to you as like some like, oh, look at me. It's because I just want you to understand the flexibility of the business. I was able to afford to go down to Florida. I was able to be there for 6 weeks with my kids. We were able to go to the beach. I was able to work when I wanted and where I wanted. So the flexibility of the business is perfect for moms. So unique. I touched on this just a bit ago, but one of the things I absolutely love about this is that you use your own personality to brand your business. So somebody could be selling something very similar to you, a similar type of product or service, but because it is a personal brand and you stand out in front of the brand as you, and you have unique experiences, you create one-of-a-kind content, you create a one-of-a-kind business. It can never be duplicated because there's only one you. And so I think that's something that's really, really important, because when you think about e-commerce and you think about, there's 2 different products, a lot of times it becomes a price game and you can get undercut. And we have things like Amazon now that just is a beast, and it's just very competitive. But when you come out as your own personal brand, you're you. And when people are drawn to you, they're drawn to you and who you are as a person, not necessarily like, they're not going to say, oh, well, I'm just going to go over there because it's a little bit cheaper. It's like, well, no, I like that person. I like what they're doing. I like how they live their life. I like what they're selling, so on and so forth. You understand? It's kind of like, I always think of like Tony Robbins. A lot of people sell motivation. A lot of people sell, what he sells, but there's only one him, and people are very drawn and attracted to him. And so like that just kind of puts it into perspective of like, it's unique. It's a personal brand. And so it helps with the I guess the competition of it. So it's scalable. So scalability is really important when you're thinking about starting a business, because when you think about it, okay, you're starting it and you're just starting out and you're just, figuring things out. But 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road, you want to make sure that you have the opportunity to scale your business, to grow your business, right? So if you're working in a certain kind of business where it's like, okay, well, you can only get a certain amount of units a month or something like that, or you don't have enough cash flow coming in to to pay for acquiring a new customer. Your scalability hits a ceiling. With this type of business, you are truly the only limit to how big or how small you can scale. And so the demand for, like I showed you already, the demand for the e-learning market is continuing to grow. And it's really up to you. It's up to you as to how big you want the business. Do you want to have a side hustle? Are you looking to build out a full-on, business that is multiple, figures per month? Totally up to you. And the opportunity is there. And I think that's the most important thing, is that there's nothing else exterior coming in that's stopping you from doing that. It's if you want it, you can have it. And it's lucrative, which is important as well. When it comes to digital business, again, you're talking about no overhead. You're talking about not having to worry about profit margin, really. So there are going to be some things that when you start a business, obviously there's going to be some hard costs. You have to have certain platforms. You have to, it's so minimal though. It's so minimal. It's the profit margin is like over 90% on digital products. So that means that essentially you're taking home 90% of what you sell, which is huge, huge. And I've seen personally with my clients that you go from, nothing to a significant amount of money in a pretty short time. So again, the only limit the only limit on how much you can make is you. Again, it's really just depends on what you create and your time, the energy, effort you put into it. So, and once the systems are in place, the business essentially runs itself in a way where it's like everything's created. It's up to you to continue to market it and sell it, push it, and be the driver behind it. But once it's built, it's built. And that's another beautiful thing about it. It's like it does require some work up front, but then once you have everything built and you have all of your content and everything is there, it's there. And so that's another reason why it's amazing and it's impactful. And I think we touched on this earlier as well, but for me, it was important. I didn't want to just come on and just sell something to sell it. I wanted to actually do something that I was passionate about, actually do something that I felt like I was helping people, that kind of that tug and pull between being a mom and having kids. It's been a long withstanding problem of, I want to have this great career. I want to be fulfilled and productive in my career, but I also want to be really present for my kids. And it's like, I want to give moms a way to figure that out, because it is something that I know a lot of women struggle with. So impactful is really important in whatever it is that you decide that you want to do with this. You have the opportunity to impact a lot of people. There are so many people at your fingertips right now with the way that the internet works, right? So, okay, I want to give you a business example, because some of you might be thinking, well, I don't know. I have no idea what I would do. So I have celiac. I was diagnosed with celiac when I was 3 years old. So I've had it for a really long time. And basically, it's something I know. I mean, I've lived it. And imagine ordering a cheeseburger with no bun from McDonald's in the 90s. It was just crazy, because nobody knew what gluten-free was back then, but that's totally a different topic for a different day. But so I know gluten-free inside and out. I've been doing it for a really long time. And I enjoy talking about it. I mean, if it's a lot of times people, it's like when they were kids, the first person they ever met that had celiac was me, because a lot of people, it was like not as common as it is now. And so I get people that are like, hey, I just found out this person has it. Can you talk to them and just give them some tips? So I enjoy talking about it. I wouldn't say I didn't create a business around it necessarily, because it's just more so part of my life. But, I know it's my life experiences have basically given me this knowledge, right? And so if I was to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to focus on the gluten-free thing, if I created a program that was, here's your meal plan. Here's your meals for the next 30, or here's 30, whatever, a 30-day program, and you'll have your every single meal planned out for the next year, just for example. How much of a relief would that be for people who just got diagnosed and they're, 25 years old? They have no idea how to eat gluten-free. They don't know what to buy. They don't know how to eat healthy, all of these things. So I'm basically, what I did there is I took a life experience of mine, something that I know, something that I enjoy talking about, and I solved somebody else's problem with that knowledge, right? And then once you decide what you're going to do, you use a carefully planned digital system to get your content in front of paying customers, which is my specialty, is, everything marketing and basically getting in front of people who want to buy your stuff. So a couple things I just want to touch on, because this is something that I hear all the time, is that, I'm not an expert. I can't go out there and tell somebody about something else because I'm not an expert. Well, I'm not an expert I don't have a degree in gluten-free eating. I've lived it. I've done it. Therefore, if you don't know anything about gluten-free eating, I'm an expert compared to what you know about gluten-free eating. And that's it. There's really no reason to overcomplicate it. It's just somebody who knows some more about something else than somebody else. And the other thing I want to talk about is mindset. So in my experience with working with businesses, mindset is so critically important, because I've put the similar strategies, implemented that into different businesses. Certain businesses absolutely took off. Other businesses, it fell completely flat. And a lot of, like, I've seen it, where if the mindset of the owner or the person who's making all the decisions is not in the right place, and they're operating from fear instead of from confidence, or, kind of pushing through, it does mess with the overall success of the business. And so everybody has the opportunity to work on their mindset and make their mindset strong. And if you have a strong mindset, I mean, you're already 5, 10, 20, 30 steps ahead of the next person. All the strategies, all the marketing stuff, everything like that, it can all be taught and learned. But mastering your mindset is so, so, so important when it comes to deciding if you want to start your own business or not. Because if you don't believe you can do it, then other people aren't going to believe you're going to do it. You can do it. So this is where I want to present to you my 8-week immersive coaching program. So this is what I have been working on after working with clients and helping them grow and scale their businesses. I decided to take all my knowledge, just like I'm telling you, and passing it along. I'm going to be creating a community of people that are going to be starting their own digital businesses. And so I'll be there supporting you every step of the way to your success. Okay. So we're just going to go a little bit more into what this is, what this looks like. So in the first month, the first week is going to be get your mind right. So mindset, what we just talked about, focusing on everything when it comes to mindset in business, your money mindset, being a mom and having a business, all of those different things, and how to balance it and how to basically set yourself up for success. The second week is all about defining your niche and figuring out, who are you going to serve, and developing your 1-sentence niche statement so that you can start to build upon that for the rest of the program. Week 3 is time to create. So your digital products, or your digital program, or your digital masterclass, or your digital community. There are so many different digital things that you can do. It just really depends on what you're passionate about, how you want to deliver that message. And I help you do all of that. Week 4 is spread that message. So it's all about your copy, which is super, super important in marketing. Your voice. How are you going to speak to people? Who are you speaking to, and how are you going to speak to them? Your branding, all of those things are really, really important. And we go over all of that in week 4. And then in week 5, it's all about crafting your offer. So creating your irresistible offer, your $1 million offer, right? That's just you're just going to put it out there and everyone's going to come running. But it's how to create an offer that people can't say no to, basically. And then week 6 is marketing, which is obviously my personal favorite. It's all about turning on your traffic faucet so that you have people coming, seeing your offer, seeing your messaging, everything like that, and buying from you. And this is organic and paid. I go through both of it. And then week 7 is tech. So I know tech is something that can scare people. I think technology should absolutely not be the reason why you don't do this, but I know it can be daunting. But you don't have to worry because I have everything laid out step by step on all the different softwares you should use, how you should do it to make it so that you are not spending a ton of time worrying about the technology or whatever those things, those processes going on behind the scenes of your business. And then week 8 is your launch. So, spreading your wings and launching and creating is what's called a launch runway. And then you're off to the races there at that point. So, what's included? So there is going to be every week, there's going to be a module that's released on a weekly basis, and you'll be able to log into the coaching platform, and you'll be able to consume the content for that week. And then there's also going to be a weekly Q&A or hot seat live that's going to be happening every week where you can hop on. I'll be on there, and anybody else that's in the group, and then we can do Q&As, or if somebody wants to talk through their specific business, we could have them on and we could go through whatever it is that they're dealing with. You'll have exclusive access to the private coaching community. So this is just for the people that are in this round of the program, and I'll be in there every day. So if you're stuck, if you need help, if you need anything, you can just message me and I will be there to support you. And also you get lifetime access to the course and the course materials. So I know as moms, we don't always have tons of time and things can, happen. And so I wanted to make sure that you would always be able to come back and rewatch and relook and do whatever it is that you need to do in order for you to be successful. So lifetime access to the course and the course materials. And for the subsequent launches, if there's things that are added, more bonuses, or there's more content that's added, you will also have access to any sort of additives that are added in future launches as well. So these are the bonuses that you'll be getting with this round. So 100 niche ideas is basically a PDF that I put together with all different ideas to help you kind of get started to figure out, look at everything in all different ways or all different types of businesses that you could jump into. So marketing math is another one that I know people sometimes scares people. So I have different spreadsheets that basically are plug and play. You can just go in and you could put in your numbers, and because understanding numbers is a huge part of business. And a lot of people get into, I saw it with a lot of my clients where they had an amazing idea, they got into business, they started making money, but then they had no idea any sort of numbers. How much was it costing them to acquire a customer? How much were they making per customer? All of these different numbers that are really important. If you start to track them and you know what you're looking at from the start, it just sets you up for success. So next is brand in a box, which is essentially everything you need to help you brand your business. So colors, fonts, logos, again, with messaging and those types of things, voice, all of those. And then access to the community for an additional 3 months after the course. So the coaching community is a paid membership. It's $25 a month, but you will have access for 3 additional months. So that you basically gives you, that time to be able to continue to work on your business with my support. And then something that's really, really exciting is that I have one of my really good friends, Olaha, has developed a Facebook ads mini course that she is going to be presenting and that you will have access to. So Facebook advertising is where I spent a lot of my ad dollars, and it can be really, really impactful for small businesses. And so this is it's a guide for beginners, and it's amazing. Okay, so now I want to talk about price, right? You're probably wondering how much it costs. So what you'll learn if you choose to come into the program is that there is something called a founding members launch. This is the very first time that I'm launching this specific program. So this would be considered a founding members launch, and that's what you would be doing if you chose to come into the program. So for a founding members launch, typically I drop the price because it's the first time, right? So this is what the price is going to be. This is the price of the course, the normal course price. Okay, it's going to be $19.97 for every single launch after this. It's going to be $19.97. But because this is a founding members launch, I'm dropping the price down to $15.97. So that's what the price is going to be for this launch. But there's even more. because you're on this webinar and you're here live, you are going to, you can basically claim the course for the next 24 hours for $12.97. That is the lowest price it's ever going to be in the history. Like it'll never drop that low again. For future launches, it'll always be at the $19.97 price. So we will put the link in the chat, and you can hop over to the page where you can look at everything and decide if this is something that you're interested in. One thing that I wanted to just touch on real quick is, when it comes to these types of programs, or, you know, because I've taken these types of programs, you know, courses and different things to learn from other people to get me closer to my goals and my dreams. And I think it's really important, you know, I kind of had to convince my husband of this, but I truly believe that when you make a decision to learn and grow, it's really not an expense, it's an investment. So you're investing in yourself, you're learning, you're growing, you're taking steps forward, right? And so, and the potential to 2, 3, or 4x the cost of the program is 100% doable and attainable. So 2, 3, 4x, what that means is like you're doubling, tripling, or quadrupling your investment and at your first launch, which is just amazing. And that's only 8 weeks away. So and I promise that anybody that, if you're live on the webinar here, to just drop your email. If you drop your email in the chat, I'm going to be sending you a copy of my book for free. So just drop your email in the chat, and then I'll send you an email right after this. And